Hi and welcome to Academic Compliance Academy. In this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between risk acceptance and risk tolerance, because sometimes people misunderstand the difference between the two or even say that it's the same thing. What is risk acceptance? Well, risk acceptance refers to the explicit acknowledgement and deliberate decision making. So it's kind of the active choice that an organization do to accept a certain level of risk or a certain type of risk after, of course, have evaluated the potential impact and likelihood of the risk occurrence. So it involves consciously deciding not to implement additional controls or take further actions to mitigate the risk. So when we say we accept this type of risk, we will stop creating more controls and we will say, okay, we don't need to handle this more. This is the okay risk that we have. So risk acceptance is based on a comprehensive understanding of the risk and their associated consequences, costs, and benefits. But where does this differ when we talk about risk tolerance? Risk tolerance is something else. So risk tolerance, that relates to an organization or individual's willingness to bear or endure risk. What does that mean? Well, if you reflect on this, so risk tolerance is the risk that we are comfortably taking, the boundary, the threshold that we will be comfortably taking while pursuing an objective. So as a company might have different objectives, we will say like, okay, our tolerance of risk in terms of this objective is here, and then you can set your tolerance level. And then you will only accept to go towards that objective if the risk is below your tolerance level. Otherwise, you need to re-strategize and find somehow else to get to that objective, or even cancel the objective. So it's a threshold of risk taking. It serves as a guide for decision making, and it might be quantitatively, it might be qualitatively, but it's kind of a way to help set the boundaries for an organization or even a person, where you could sometimes say that, okay, I know that I will not expose myself to risk beyond this level. So that will be your tolerance level. But if you just go out the door and do not wear a bike helmet or anything else, well, that is you accept the certain risk that you are now exposing yourself to. So just to put that out here, so we could say that the blue marker here on this risk curve or this risk picture would kind of represent something that we accept. Okay, we accept the low risk, blah, 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 blah. Where the tolerance, that is a boundary, it's a threshold that this risk acceptance cannot cross over. So we might accept all risk. We might have a decision making of saying we do risk acceptance as long as we are under our risk tolerance level. But we should never accept risk beyond our tolerance level. Then we need to re-strategize or look at the objectives. So this is plainly the difference between risk acceptance, which is a choice, it's an active movement, it's something that you do, it's a decision, and risk tolerance, which is the maximum of risk that you are willing to take in terms of a certain objective or driving a certain area of your business, and it might be set in multiple areas. So this was just a short video on the difference between risk acceptance and risk tolerance. So stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, and let's share much more knowledge.